It's used for slicing canes, slicing flats. And workable. We do that with our hands to start with, just a little bit to get it softened. Then we move over to the pasta machine. The pasta machine needs to be cleaned before and after every time you use it. In this particular case, we cleaned the pasta machine up and are loading the clay into the pasta machine on the left side with the black, and we do the right side on the white so that we don't have to clean after each one. We're not using very wide conditioned clay, so we can use strips like this and get away with it. Once we believe that the material is of the right consistency, which basically means you can move it easily with your hands. It shouldn't be hard to press with your hands. We'll take it over the table, work it a little bit more, and make a few beads with it. This little tool here allows us to get the right measured amount of clay, and so now we're going to make a cane. This cane is going to be used for putting spots on the beads. We haven't showed you how we make a bead yet, but we will here shortly. The piece of material that she's using is a plastic piece that comes with the bead baking tray made by Amco. Here's a made cane, the one that's already been made up. We're going to put a little piece of white on the outside. You can see it already had a piece of white on the inside where we made it a little earlier. That's what she was showing you in this previous video. Right before she started using the white, she had made up a little black center for another cane. It looks like we didn't cut the clay strip long enough that we need to enclose it, so she's going to go ahead and pull some material off here and go ahead and stretch it out and use that to fill that little slot so that we have our white completely all the way around. She had rolled that with her hands to get it to that thickness, kind of like a little snake. So she's filling in that slot that didn't get covered. Doesn't have to be perfect here because she's going to roll it again and get that to come out perfect. This is a very common technique used. Now she's going to cut it off, and there's what it looks like on the end. A little black, a little white, a little black, and a little white. Now she's ready to going to make another bead here to show you how to make a bead. This particular bead will be done in the tri-bead roller. Again, she's using her little mold to get the right amount of clay in the tri-bead roller in the oval bead portion. She's going to slice that off here in just a second, and that way she knows she's got enough. That's the knife that's used. And now she's pushing the correct amount of clay out of the tool. And I'm going to roll it into a little round ball. Set it in the center of the bead roller and slide the tri-bead roller back and forth several times, and that gives us a nice little oval shaped bead. That bead could be used exactly the way it is, just by putting the hole in the center and baking it, or you could embellish it like she's going to do with the various slices of material here. She's didn't like that one. The clay is a little bit soft. One thing that can be done is to put it in the refrigerator or the freezer to make it a little bit easier to cut. She cut off a piece of that, and there's a piece that came out of the refrigerator. A little bit easier to cut now because it's a little bit harder, a little bit thicker. I'm sorry, not thicker, but a little bit more firm. So she's placing a piece of the cutoff cane onto the bead. She's going to cut a few more pieces off here. Once that's done, it's still not that easy to get a real thin slice. You need a real thin slice for this particular section. So here we are with another thin slice. Throw it away. And maybe we finally get one here. This is a skill. It's not something that's easily just done the first time, but the clay is very inexpensive, so it allows you to make mistakes and allows you to learn how to have the skill that you need. There's another piece on there. So you can see right now that those pieces kind of stick out quite a bit. Now she's getting the hang of it. There's another third piece that's real good. And now she's going to set it back into the tri-bead roller in the center section. Now this time you don't want to roll back and forth several times, because if you do, you'll deform the bead. So she's just going to roll a couple of times, maybe once forward and maybe once back, and that will reset it into its original shape and make that material on the outside be the correct, push it into the surface of the other bead and make it all one formed piece. Now she's going to stick her copper skewer through the center of it so that it can be placed in the baking rack, and that's a pretty nice looking bead. There's a baking rack with several already in it. She didn't like the way that one set, so she's going to re-put the skewer in to get it closer to center. And there you go. So now we're going to take that baking rack. We have it full of the beads that we just made, plus other beads that we had made earlier underneath it that you can see in there. And we're going to go ahead and put that into the oven and see if we can't bake it up here. 30 minutes at 275 degrees. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed this. You can see now what the beads look like after they've been cooked, and here they are on the table with a few others. Thanks for joining us. Please visit us at beadsamore.com. Our Beads Amore store in Fishers and in Indianapolis carry the complete Studio By Sculpey line of tools and clays. We have discounts available for large quantities of clay. Please give us a call at 317-849-2323 or visit us on the web at www.beadsamore.com. Thanks. Hope you enjoyed this video.